Hello and welcome to KLM Institute.
Today, we bring you a critical update on the worsening crisis in Gaza. Multiple international reports now warn that this is no longer just a humanitarian emergency. Many believe we are witnessing a genocide in progress. On July 28, two leading Israeli organizations, B'Tselem and Physicians for Human Rights Israel, released a shocking joint report. They accuse the Israeli government of carrying out a deliberate campaign to destroy Palestinian life in Gaza. According to the report, hospitals have been bombed, schools erased, infrastructure destroyed, and access to clean water and medical care has been cut off. These are not accidental consequences of war. They argue this destruction is intentional, systematic, and fits the legal definition of genocide. The report also includes public statements by senior Israeli officials, statements suggesting a clear intent to eliminate Palestinian society in Gaza. And B'Tselem warns that if this goes unchallenged, the same policies could spread to other areas under Israeli control. It's a chilling forecast. At the same time, the United Nations is raising alarm bells about famine. According to the UN's Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, or IPC, over 130,000 people in Gaza are now in IPC Phase 5, the highest level of food insecurity. This means they are facing catastrophic hunger. The UN warns that the use of starvation as a weapon, along with the blockade and destruction of essential services, mirrors tactics associated with genocide under international law. As of August 2025, more than 61,000 Palestinians have been killed, including over 20,000 babies and children, according to verified health and human rights sources. Many observers, activists, legal experts, and journalists are now comparing this level of destruction to the Holocaust, not in historical scope, but in its systematic targeting of a civilian population. Meanwhile, the fate of Israeli hostages still held in Gaza hangs in the balance. But critics say Prime Minister Netanyahu has shown little interest in negotiating their release. Instead, he continues military operations that have deepened the crisis, risking both Palestinian and Israeli civilian lives. Analysts and even former Israeli officials accuse Netanyahu of using the war for political survival, while ignoring both hostages and humanitarian law. Now, even Israel's Western allies are publicly breaking ranks. On August 9, the foreign ministers of Australia, Germany, Italy, New Zealand, and the UK issued a joint statement rejecting Israel's plan to reoccupy Gaza City. They warned that the move would worsen the humanitarian disaster, violate international law, and put the remaining hostages at even greater risk. The group demanded a ceasefire, full access for humanitarian aid, and immediate steps toward peace. Germany has already suspended arms exports to Israel. While it has not officially called the situation genocide, Chancellor Friedrich Merz has rejected Israel's occupation plan and voiced concern over civilian suffering. The United Kingdom has taken an even stronger stance. It suspended trade talks, summoned Israel's ambassador, and called the Gaza campaign morally unjustifiable. Foreign Secretary David Lammy described Israeli actions as crossing a line with international law. Australia, too, has shifted its position. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called Israeli actions completely unacceptable, supported Palestinian statehood, and froze the assets of far-right Israeli ministers. In July, Australia also signed the New York Call, a document pushing for formal recognition of a Palestinian state. Together, these moves represent a dramatic shift in global politics. Countries that once stood firmly behind Israel are now raising their voices for Palestinian rights, humanitarian law, and accountability. In summary, Gaza is facing a deadly combination of genocide, famine, and political collapse. The death toll continues to rise. Human rights groups say it mirrors the darkest chapters of history. And yet, the global response remains divided. Will the international community act before it's too late? Will hostages be saved? And will justice ever be served for the victims? We'll keep tracking this critical story. For more fact-based global updates, stay tuned and stay aware. Thanks for watching. This is KLM Institute.